it's a new month, so let's go over what went right with April and what we're doing for May. Hi, my name is Dawn Dalton. I am an independent author with a full-time job, and last month was, I think, my worst month of this year to date. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. While I got a lot of stuff done, the big goals that I was really hoping to complete, I fell completely short of. I had a death in the family, and then I got sick, and then my husband went out of town, so I was stuck with the puppy who doesn't want to sleep in the bed and who thinks that if I'm alone, I have to play with her all night. There was actually one night where I got home at 5 and she didn't stop going until 9:30. And by that point, I was ready to just pass out. So with all that said, I still think I did fairly well this last month, despite the fact that I was falling short of a lot of my major goals. But let's go over it. Write 100 blocks. I got 48. That is less than half. That is an insane difference. And I know a lot of that comes from me getting really sick, which is why I didn't complete my YouTube goal either. And having an emergency trip to Wisconsin, and yeah, I fell short. I did fill one notebook. I got that right under the wire on the 30th. I did pay my bills. I did get my daily habits to 50%, although barely. A lot of that was front loading the month. And then when I got sick, obviously a lot of the good goals or the good habits didn't happen. Post 4 YouTube videos. I only posted 3 because when I'm sick, I cannot be bothered to record. And I still haven't recorded the Write With Me's to kind of fill in those gaps. I did not write a single blog or Medium post. This is the one goal where I am consistently not hitting any of the targets. And if I don't get anything written by the end of this quarter, I think I'm just gonna scrap the goal completely and utterly. Finish 1 skein of yarn. I did complete that. I think the problem I'm having actually completing this goal, because there have been a couple of months where I haven't or just barely got it, is because I really don't care about the blanket I'm working on. It is there for me to literally use up yarn that I had sitting from a previous project. Read 4 books. I got 3 this month, and part of that was only because I had such a long drive that I was able to rip through a couple of books. Also, my morning book is really, really dry and technical, and if it doesn't start switching up soon, I may DNF it and find something else to read this quarter. And then the book that I'm reading on my Kindle should have been finished by now. It was only 270 pages, and it's just not hitting the way I was hoping it would. I'm not ripping through it in the way that I was hoping I would. Complete 4 workouts. This one I did, although again, just barely under the wire the last day of the month. I did manage to get 10,000 steps to complete that goal. Now for the goals that I've been trying to pull forward from my yearly goals, I did do my taxes. And that was a kick to the teeth at the end of a very long day. We ended up owing, but thankfully it wasn't terrible, but it was still an unpleasant surprise on a really terrible week. I did not clean out the cupboards. I did not go through the ASL alphabet to refresh my memory on it. I did not take a self-care day, but again, I went from a surprise trip to Wisconsin to being sick to having the dog by myself. So I'm not going to be super rough on myself about that. I did clean up the files on my computer. That's a fairly easy upkeep thing. For the most part, my files are pretty organized. I try to keep everything in its separate spots on the computer. It's just one of those, every so often I need to clean my desktop and move stuff to where they belong. I did clean out my dresser. I did not take the donations out of the house. I have a box full of clothes that just needs to get in my car so I can drop it off at the donation center and just get it out of the house. But again, I'm not going to be too upset about the fact that I missed a lot of goals this month because it was a rough month, and sometimes you just have to deal with the rough months. So let's get May set up and ready to go so we can start this month off on a good note. I did pick, because it's spring, I did pick some really pretty floral washi tape, and I'm going to use my dragonfly stickers. This one is Mandy Lynn Plans that I've had sitting for quite some time, from back when I was doing bullet journaling. These are like the perfect size for that. And then I'm also going to use my Happiness handmade stickers. I got these at the pen show last year, and I can't wait to see her again this year at the pen show. I do plan on buying a ton of stickers, but before I get to the pen show, I do have to use up a ton of stickers, so let's get this started. Okay, May is set up. All I have to do is finish setting up the weekly spreads with stickers and washi tape and my habit trackers. But that's a fairly quick and easy process. So let's talk about May. And May looks a lot like April because I did roll over basically everything I didn't complete in April into my May plan. The usual suspects: write 100 blocks, fill 1 notebook, pay my bills. Daily habits at 55%, we are moving up in small increments. Post 4 YouTube videos, write 4 blog or Medium posts, finish 1 skein of yarn, read 4 books, complete 4 workouts. This stuff really doesn't change. The only thing that has really changed from last month to this month is the percentage in which I want to complete my daily habits, because I have gotten fairly consistent with the 50% and now just need to start being consistent with more things. For the yearly goals, most of this just rolled over from last month. It is have a self-care day. This month I am going to do a no-buy month, and when I say a no-buy month, I do mean I will be buying gas and groceries, and allowing myself to go out to eat once a week, mostly because on game nights I do go out with my friends, and it's just a bonding time, so I don't want to give that up. But everything else, I'm not buying. No clothes, no, oh, you know what, on my way home from work, I want a sweet treat. None of that. I'm allowed to go grocery shopping twice a week, one of those basically being just to buy more fresh fruit, because bananas do go bad after like half a week. But other than that, unless it's an emergency, like I tear my jeans, and paying for my vendor fee for a June event, I'm not spending money on anything that isn't bills. And a lot of that comes down to I have a lot of stuff that I want to be saving for. You know, we have Gen Con coming up. We have the pen show coming up next month. I need to pay for my 4th degree black belt that I haven't paid for in years. And it's about time that I just admit that I am a 4th degree black belt and get that off of my plate, and then allow my teachers to test me for 5th degree possibly next year. I also want to buy my ISBNs, but I can't do any of that if I'm spending $5 here, $10 there. You know, oh, I just want a sweet treat on my way home. You know what? I'm dropping off a box at UPS for work. I'm going to pop into the store next door and get something to eat. Let's not do that. We have goals. I also want to do my alphabet refresh for the ASL. This has been a goal for a while where I do want to learn American Sign Language. I think it is very useful, and I just have never prioritized taking the time to learn it. I want to do my Sanshen every day for 30 days. I want to clean out the cupboards. There are just a few things here and there that we don't use that are just taking up space, and I want to get them out of the house to kind of lighten the load of junk that we keep in the house. And I want to take the donations out of the house, even if that means just sticking it in the trunk of my car to have it ride with me every single day until I have the time to drop it off. Other than that, I have a new workout plan that I'm gonna try to incorporate. I am training for a marathon. I can't believe I'm saying those words because my best friend wants me to run with her in February next year, and I'm interested to see what will happen if I train for a full marathon instead of training for a half marathon and then running a full anyway, because I did that in 2022. So yeah, if you've been enjoying watching me ride the roller coaster of setting goals and not always completing them, be sure to feed the algorithm, boop that like button, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.